Ultimately, being a disciple is about being empowered to be witnesses and disciple makers in our neighborhoods and across the world. On this video, we want to talk about what it looks like to empower disciples to make disciples no matter what their circumstances might be.
Greetings, friends. Cherelle Johnson here, and I just want to encourage you to continue to make disciples. Yes, even during the pandemic, making disciples is our main focus. Specifically, empowering leaders. Here at Divine Unity Community Church, we've had to empower more leaders and at a fast rate. In this timing of limitations, I believe that innovation is really what is able to sprout when we're empowering leaders. One cool observation was I was on a Zoom call last week with the Bible study for women. Now, this Bible study had never been on Zoom before. It was ladies from ages 20 to 70 participating. It was amazing. And what was most exciting is that I didn't lead it. It was led by another woman in our church who had never used Zoom before, who had never taught Bible study in this context. And we had a chance to do maybe a 1-hour training with our volunteers and staff. I got with her in one other time, and then we just went for it. And it was so impactful, not perfect, but very impactful. So empowering leaders is something that we continue to do. Another cool example is that here at Divine Unity Community Church, we have a large congregation, but a tiny staff. So most of the things we're doing, most of the empowering is volunteers. And so our media team, our marketing team is all volunteers. We had this cool opportunity to broadcast our services on the local TV station here. And we've never done that before, but during the pandemic, now you can go on your TV station if you're locally here and watch the gospel. It's amazing. And another amazing part about that is, again, these are volunteers who are doing this and who are being empowered to trailblaze for our church and community in brand new ways. Listen, I believe that you're going to spread the gospel like never before. The blast radius from you being innovative and empowering your local leaders is going to be felt all over. And I'm excited for what we're doing to make Jesus' name popular. Thank you so much for listening.
While our world is in uncharted territories, one thing that we know is although our practices may change, our principles stay the same. So in the midst of the coronavirus pandemic, we have remained steadfast in making disciples. One of our main focuses during this time continues to be getting ministry out of the hands of the professionals and into the hands of our church community. We know that every single person in our church has a circle of influence with people that we do not even know that are desperate for a church family during this time. So with this in mind, we have applied the following online practices. All of our life group leaders have downloaded their own free Zoom account, and it's a great tool to use to continue life groups going forward in our church community. Because of these life groups, we have seen people continue to get discipled every day of the week. Not only are they having life groups, but they are using the same Zoom account to have one-on-one discussions as well as prayer meetings with their life group members. While life groups are one day a week, our leaders are continuing to minister to their life group members every day of the week. They are also encouraging the people in their life group to start their own Zoom accounts with their circle of influences and follow their lead. We have also seen our church family take advantage of the one-to-one app as well as the God Test app to continue evangelizing through FaceTime and Zoom calls. With people in so much fear, we are seeing a desperation for the gospel as they reach out to people from their workplace, family, and community. The most important thing as we empower as quickly as possible is to make sure we are equipping before and during this season. The way we have been able to follow up with the people we empower is we purchased our own church Zoom account where we have daily prayer calls and weekly life group leader meetings so we can model the practice for them. We have also had evangelism and discipleship trainings to give them the tools they need during this time. It has been great hearing all of the testimonies and learning from our church family how we can continue to see the gospel go forward and empower the church to be the frontline ministers during this time.
Hi everyone! I'm praying that we are all experiencing God's grace in the midst of this pandemic. You know, this situation actually presents a lot of challenges, but I'm also grateful for the unique opportunities that we're discovering along the way, especially in the area of empowering people. Now, how do we get to empower people in this situation? Just three things that I want to share. First and foremost is the mindset. You know, we always say that every member is a minister, and this is the best time for us to see this at work. If you think about it, the purpose of really empowering is to release the people to minister, and what else could be a better time than this? But the obvious challenge that we all experience today is that we are not allowed to meet physically, which leads me to my second point, the medium or the means. You know, I think of our current situation like this. It's like the highway that we're used to driving or going to have been inaccessible at the moment. And just because the main way is not accessible, that doesn't mean that the place is already unreachable. And the key is to discover those routes, even if we have to walk. You know, some may be paved, others may be not. But if the end destination is clear, it can be reached. Yes, the obvious challenge is not being able to meet physically, but what we have now is time and technology. So on the onset of the quarantine, we took time ministering to our leaders using different platforms, Viber, WhatsApp, Zoom, Telegram, whatever it is, just to communicate with them. We also created different Facebook groups, messenger threads, practically recreated that sense of church community online. And we also transitioned whatever we can digitally, meetings, trainings, other equippings to remind our people of our role, which is to be a salt and light to our families, communities, and even the nation. And the results are really encouraging. You know, you see students really being empowered to think about whatever means to engage their co-students online, even if they're not in the campus physically. And parents who are used to just dropping their kids off to children's church now takes on the challenge of becoming their very own Bible teacher, not just every Sunday, but all throughout the week. You know, I also love the testimony of two of our student leaders who, upon going home to their hometowns, stepped out to really minister to their parents and is now having daily devotional time with the entire family. Of course, the countless stories of our frontliners who selflessly go out day in, day out to perform not just a duty but also to seize an opportunity to minister to their fellow frontliners. You see, there's a great joy in seeing every person rise up to the occasion, not just to respond to the rallying cry of the church as a whole, as an organization, but really be the church and minister to the world. Which leads me to my last point, mission. You know, we all do this because the mission remains the same, to honor God and make disciples. My prayer is that may we count it as a privilege to be afforded the same grace that God has given the people who has gone ahead of us and continued on with the mission in whatever season. So let's continue to empower people as we honor God and make disciples.